Hey, how's it going, you guys? Armando here with a short video for today. Earlier, I had a training session with one of my clients, Sparky. Very intelligent woman, I gotta say. Nonetheless, we got into this discussion of the difference between doing certain exercises with dumbbells versus resistance bands, and how the weight or the challenge can vary depending on the motion and of course the workout. Nonetheless, yeah. So we ended up getting into this conversation, and I'll give you the example. I have 20 pounds of dumbbells here, and basically, I was having her perform a squat to shoulder press. And the thing about the squat to shoulder press is that you can do it with the 20 pounds, but as you're going through the motion, as you're popping up, you're in the middle of that motion, right, of the popping up here, you're using a bit of the momentum that you're getting from the legs. So essentially, the 20 pounds isn't quite 20 pounds up until you get to the sticking point of the move, which is at the very peak here. And then on the way down, you're not really dealing with 20 pounds. You're probably dealing with half of that weight. And that's because the antagonizers aren't stimulating like the primary movers. All right. So primary movers would be the muscles that are working up against gravity. And then you have certain groups of muscles that are designed to counteract that on the way down, and it's a different style of contraction. So depending on the tempo that you go with the dumbbells, you can definitely make them feel just as challenging with the resistant, just as challenging versus the resistant bands. So I'll give you an example. Again, I was doing a squat to shoulder presses, and I went at a pretty good quick pace, where a majority of the legs was popping the 20 pounds up like nothing. Of course, you want to synchronize that motion coming up and down. But if I slowed it down and I did it in slow-mo, now I'm forcing my shoulders to have to work harder than allowing my legs to do the work and popping this thing up overhead. So yeah, you can definitely get a better stimulation from the dumbbells by slowing down the tempo. I often have to do that with new clients that I'm training, but nonetheless, when you're doing this with resistant bands, you don't necessarily lose that resistance as you're going to the peak of the move. And this is kind of what I was having a hard time trying to explain to her, is that when you're standing in the resistant band, yes, you're always going to have less tension at some point. But if the starting point for that squat to shoulder press is here, then as you're squatting down, you're not going to find much resistance. But as you're popping up, you're going to get all that and a little bit more at the peak of the move. Not to mention that when you're coming back down, because not only will gravity assist you on the way back down, you got constant tension still on this resistant band. As I'm still pausing here, I'm still having to put some type of effort in the contraction and keeping my hands up and then coming back down and synchronizing the motion. So tension throughout the range of motion is a lot more different than free weight, where you're only really getting tension at the sticking points, which are either at the bottom of the move or the top of the move. But it's that middle portion, it's that in between, that transition, that makes a huge difference with the resistant bands. So I hope that's a little bit more clear for you, Sparky. And again, I know that if you have that question, many others will too. So keep popping up great questions like that, and I'll try to handle them as best as I can. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.